there, welcome back, and excuse the planet on my chin right now. I never get breakouts, and of course, right when I need to do a video, I get one. I'm sure I'm not the only one who has noticed that a lot of goth YouTubers make videos about goth makeup, goth hair, goth clothing, goth shoes, goth everything, but they rarely put it all in one video. The only time I really see anything even remotely close to an all-in-one video is when they do what is goth videos, but the fashion and the aesthetic is generally not the focal point of those videos, so they don't go that far in. And as much as I love watching YouTubers talk about, just the hair or just the makeup or something, I thought it would be nice to have kind of an all-in-one video, especially for people who either are beginners to goth or who have a very on-the-go lifestyle and don't have a ton of time to sit there thinking for an hour about what they're going to wear today or how they're going to do their hair and everything. So consider this your all-in-one video. I am going to point out, though, this is not going to be like a bullet point to bullet point style video. I am going to be explaining things as I mention them so that you can understand why I choose to do certain things the way that I do. The first thing you need to understand about the all-in-one goth aesthetic is the fact that there is no one correct way to look goth. There are many ways. Even at the very beginning of goth, there were many different fashion styles and everything. I mean, just look at like Joy Division and Susie Sue and The Cure and Bauhaus. They were all goth bands, but they look different from each other. They do not look like they all came from the same place. And that's what you need to get into your head first and foremost, that it is good to take ideas from different styles, but don't think for 1 second that everything has to look the same. And the next point I want to bring up before we delve too far in is that goth does not have to be inherently monochromatic. As beautiful as I think the black and white goth aesthetic is, it's not for everybody, and it doesn't have to be for everybody, and you certainly don't have to adhere to it. You can if you want, but you don't have to. I am goth. I look goth today, and I am not wearing black and white. I know my camera probably isn't picking it up, but this is like a gray-brown toned lipstick, and I have red and forest green eyeshadow on today, but I dare you to have someone point me out walking down the street and think I look normal. So the first main thing I want to dive into in this video is clothing, because clothing is where I think a lot of people get really hung up and they overthink it and then they get all stressed out, and it's not as complicated as you might think. I'm going to put up pictures of a few of the goth outfits that I have put together over the years that I tend to get a lot of comments, usually very positive comments, about when I go out in them. And as you can see, these outfits are nothing fancy. They are not expensive looking. They didn't come from Punk Rave. They didn't come from Killstar. They didn't come from Dark and Closet or any of the big goth brand names. They're just things that I found over the years, and I don't tend to get a single outfit from one place. Unfortunately, when you watch other videos, people tend to say, go to thrift stores. Well, I don't know if you guys have the same problem I do, but thrift stores are not helpful for me. I find nothing but like really gaudy, old lady-ish, or like way out of date stuff, and not out of date in the way you want it to be. They're like pastel pinks and stuff, things that you can't really do anything with when you're making a goth outfit. And so go ahead, check the thrift store if you want to, but I wouldn't go in expecting to find something wonderful. Instead, for example, for this outfit, this is a combination of a pair of black leggings that I just got off of eBay for like $2, a black dress from Hot Topic that is very, very plain, that doesn't have much going on it except little eyelets in the middle around where the belt would be, a black blazer that my aunt gave to me, and blazers can really make a goth outfit in my opinion. Accessorizing is what you want to focus on more than the piece underneath. The blazer is a very good idea because although it's gorgeous on its own right now, which makes it perfect for if you are a corporate goth and you have to go to work dressed like this, and it's good for, you know, weddings and going out to dinner. You can also, you know, pump it up a little bit by adding pins and chains to it with safety pins, and it's very easy to personalize it and make it your own. And then the last piece, the piece everyone loves the most, is the belt that I put on it. That belt is nothing but a strip of fabric that has 2 more strips of really transparent sparkly fabric from Joann's and a bunch of gray and black yarn on it. That's literally all it is. You can make that for yourself in like 10 minutes. So collect pins, go through a craft store and take a look at the different styles of fabric they have or the different yarns and think about what you could do with those. There is an endless array of DIY videos on YouTube. You can use any of them. They don't have to be goth DIY. Just think of, like, for example, if you were doing the belt from that outfit that I just showed you, say DIY yarn fringe belt, and watch the video, and at the end of it, do exactly what they said, but use the colors you want instead. Moving on, let's talk about makeup. This is another thing people get really upset about because, again, just like the clothing, they tend to overthink it, and I understand there are a lot of goth makeup styles in the world. You don't necessarily have to stick to just one style. With your makeup, just like with your clothing, you don't really have to stick to only one style. With goth is a very forgiving aesthetic because at the core of it, there is no right or wrong way to look goth. It's about creativity and artistry, and you're supposed to make yourself look the way that makes you happy. And again, just like everything else, it does not have to be black and white, and you should not try to completely copy somebody else's style. I saw a lot of styles kind of like this in movies that I like, and I thought it was really cool because it reminded me of Wings almost, so I just did that kind of idea, put a little extra point so it looked a little bit more like a bat wing on it, and then used the colors I thought were cool, and then I did this little indentation towards the nose because it just tied it all together. Don't get hung up on just looking up goth makeup tutorials because a lot of goth makeup tutorials, beautiful as they are not very beginner friendly, and you can get really confused and frustrated trying to copy them exactly. So my suggestion is find whatever makeup artist you admire most on YouTube, practice their makeup looks, get used to it, make sure you find a style that you like that suits you best, and then use darker, gothier colors for it instead. A couple of makeup palettes that I tend to use a lot because they are very beginner friendly. They practically tell you right in them how to use them, and they last a long time, and they have good colors for goth people are, one is the Too Faced Naturalized palette. Looking at this right away, you wouldn't immediately think goth, but honestly, it can be very, very goth. I tend to use this color, which is kind of a cool tone brown, for my contour because anything that's a normal contour and bronzing color ends up making me look too alive, which is the opposite of what I want. And then this color and this color tend to look really good in the socket. If you're going for that kind of Burton-esque look where you look almost like you've been asleep for 200 years, this palette is going to be your best friend. And even if you're not going for that look, these colors are all, for the most part, a lot lighter and more buildable than they look. They go on very light and you just build them up to make them darker and darker as you go along. And because of that, they are a very good base for your look. A very easy way to start your goth makeup look is to just do a circle around your entire eye with any of these colors and then just decide where to go from there. And if you're going to school or work or somewhere where they want you to tone it down a little, it's very easy to use that palette to create kind of a neutral look, but then use eyeliner to wing it out and make it look more gothic. and then you're less likely to get in trouble. I'm not going to go through all of my palettes. I'm just going to do one more just as an example. If you work at a facility that doesn't mind your goth look too much, or you're going to a school that doesn't mind, or just you can basically be free to be whoever you want. Another good beginner-friendly eyeshadow palette is the Urban Decay Moon Dust palette. At first I thought this was going to be limited edition, but I have not seen it go anywhere yet. So definitely pick one of these up. This has a lot of light, dark, and medium shades. They're all extremely glittery, which makes them have that wow loud factor that most goth makeup does. And they're extremely opaque without even getting them wet, which makes them very easy to work with. I will say though, be careful with this, since they are glitters, they do tend to have a lot of fallouts. Another thing that people get hung up on is black lipstick. Black lipstick is gorgeous, and yes, right off the bat, people see it and automatically think goth because a lot of goths love black lipstick, myself included. But you do not have to wear black lipstick, and you don't have to wear red lipstick either. Actually, the one I have on today is Fenty Beauty's Fog Snog from her holiday collection. It's gorgeous. I got the holiday collection because there's a icy blue, a gold, and this kind of brown gray tone, and I think they're absolutely gorgeous for a goth look because it makes me look just a little bit more dead, but it's still pretty. It doesn't look, you know, too in your face. And again, you could get away with this in a corporate setting just fine. And if for some reason you do like black lipstick, that is your preference, but you want to find a way to make it look a little more interesting, I have a couple of suggestions, and I've done all of these. One is I put on a black liquid lipstick, and then I take one of these or a glitter that would usually be used for an eyeshadow, and I just pat it over top while the lipstick is still wet, and then just let it dry, and it kind of just soaks in, it mattifies them, and it gives them that extra little something. Or you can use a black lipstick that already has some kind of sheen to it. A very good place to go to for that is Black Moon Cosmetics, because a lot of their lipsticks already have built-in glitters that are, you know, duochrome and stuff, and metallic, and all of them are black based. So you have that black lipstick still, but it's not 100% black, and it's really fun because you can also use their lipsticks on your eyes and vice versa. You can use the eyeshadows, the liquid eyeshadows on your lips. And speaking of Black Moon Cosmetics, I want to talk about something for anybody who is an on-the-go goth, who doesn't have a lot of time to sit in front of the mirror all morning getting their makeup done, who needs to get done in like 15 minutes or less. Your best friends are going to be liquid lipsticks and liquid eyeshadows. I'm going to tell you right now, if you're on the go, don't get too hung up on the base makeup. I have yet to have people comment on what my face itself looks like. They always go straight for the eyes and for the lips. If your eyes and your lips look great, you don't have to worry about everything else that much. So pick up a few of these guys, either the Black Moon Cosmetics Cosmic Eye Dusts, or the Stila Cosmetics liquid shadows, the glitters and the shimmers and stuff. Anything especially that is duochromed. I know that Black Moon has quite a few of these ones that, again, just like the lipsticks, they are black based, but they have another color or colors in them. For example, this is a purple and gold duochrome, and these dry extremely fast, again, for lips and eyes. When I'm in a hurry, but I still want to have that really pretty goth look, I just put this everywhere. I make a mess. I leave the part that's on my lid alone, and then I just take a brush and go whoosh, 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 all over above my eyelid, and it actually ends up looking really nice because when you blend it out, it turns into a smoky gray. Let's talk about perfumes. Perfumes are where a lot of goths spend their entire paycheck, and you can, but you don't have to. Of course, any goth you ask will say their #1 brand for perfume is Black Phoenix Alchemy Lab, and they are fantastic. They have gorgeous artwork. They have such fun holiday releases. I love their limited editions and their permanent installations, and they smell amazing, and they only get better as time goes on. However, there is that little problem of they tend to cost upwards of like $20 to $30, and they are all this size. It's not that big. No, you don't need a lot of it, but I've yet to have any of these last over a year. So what I started doing was, for example, this is the Cat from Coraline. I love this scent, love it to death. So what I did was I went on their website, I looked up what scents they used in it, the basics of it at least. I got myself a little bottle of avocado oil and a few pure essential oils. You have to make sure that they're pure essential oils when you're making your own perfume. Otherwise, they're not going to age that nicely like these ones do. So, yeah, right off the bat, it's going to seem like you're spending a lot of money, but honestly, once you've gotten all of your pure essential oils in the scents that you love, your bottles, and your carrier oil, which in, my instance is the avocado oil, it doesn't actually end up being that much because I made about 30 of my own perfumes that are about this size for the same amount that I paid for these two. I had decided initially to end this video by talking about goth hairstyles and goth shoes, but the more I thought about it while I was editing this video, the more I realized I don't really do a lot in terms of goth hair and shoes. As far as my hair goes, my hair is so short, I don't really do anything with it besides either slick it back or poof it out as much as I'm able to, and then I kind of look like I'm Tim Burton's kid. And I just kind of embellish it with circlets and flower crowns and things like that. So if you have longer hair and you want good advice on how to do goth hairstyles, you're probably better off going to It's Black Friday's channel. She has, I believe, an entire playlist on her channel where she discusses how to do goth hair, especially trad goth hair that's really poofy, but she also has advice on things like death hawks that I'm not really able to show you. And as far as the shoes go, I would advise you to go to either It's Black Friday, Adora Bat Brat, or Toxic Tears because they have quite a lot of gothic shoes and boots and all those wonderful things. I honestly only have one pair of boots that I wear day in and day out. I always just get a plain black pair of boots and I either keep them black or I put my own little rhinestones and charms all over them to make them a little more personalized. But other than that, I don't really do anything as far as boots because I can't afford them. You can do what I do if you're on a budget like I am and you can't afford things like Demonia boots or Winkle Pickers, and you can just get a cheap black pair of boots and make them look however you want by painting them or by putting charms on them. But if you're really in the market for looking for really nice goth boots and you're not sure where to start, again, choose one of those lovely ladies. They can direct you a little better than I can. And I hope that my advice I've given you so far in this video has been helpful to at least a few of you. And I hope that it was a little bit easier to have everything all in one place instead of across multiple videos that you have to search for. And as always, do something that makes you happy today no matter what anyone else thinks about it. And I will see you all very soon.